Today we're talking about a variety of books, and we'll talk about good, better, and best books to buy for your children that are educational. My first recommendation is, again, to stay in the concrete world. That means the realistic world. Stay away from the abstract and pretend fairies and things that don't exist, unicorns and Disney characters. You want to stay as concrete as possible in the early childhood years because they cannot differentiate between fake and real. So the more reality that you can ground them in, the better. So today we're going to talk about a variety of books. This first basket is about colors. And I'll give you an example of what you want to look for in books. So this first book, it'll work, but it's not a really great book. And I'll show you why. So if you look at the colors in the book, this is supposed to be red. It doesn't look red. It looks kind of like a peach color or a salmon color. It's not a good representation of red. This is blue, but to me it's kind of a purplish blue. And so it's neat. It has the Spanish in it, and it starts with lowercase, but again, the color representation is not very well done. So I'd stay away from that. And this is a better book, and it's a thick book, but it has isolation of difficulty. This book is all about the color red. So it is not going to confuse them. It's isolation of difficulty where it's teaching one thing, the color red and vocabulary. So it's a really great book. It had real pictures. And with the words, it starts with lowercase. Fabulous book. This one is the best because it has, it's a better book because it has realistic colors for the animals in there. A white mouse, a black cat, a red apple, yellow ducklings. It's a little cartoony, so it's not the absolute best, but it is a good book. This is one of the best books. These two are absolutely fabulous. This one's called Eating the Rainbow. So you open it, and it has an amazing group of pictures that are all realistic. This one, it even shows the child eating the food. And you can teach lots of vocabulary. Apple. Now, unfortunately, they're all uppercase. It would be better if you found one that were all lowercase. However, realistic pictures and a baby eating the actual food. So all of these are vocabulary words, and then red goes into green, and it shows an actual child eating vegetables. How wonderful is that? Or grapes, they're fruit. But anyway, and you're talking about broccoli and kiwi, and you're growing vocabulary. Fabulous book. It's also a thick page book. This one is all about colors, but this one has a surprise. Realistic pictures. It has the name, the word with capital and lowercase. Realistic pictures, but this book is an accordion style book that folds out, and you can stand them up and talk about them. So it's awesome. It has all kinds of pictures, front and back. So books that actually interact and do stuff. Here's another example. This book has a fun thing where it has holes in it, and the holes grow with the book. So this is a counting book. 1, 2 toucans, because on the other page it talks about it. So that's kind of when it does something unique and different, and it's fun. Okay, next, you want books that talk about feelings. And so a book that says like happy, sad, angry, so that your child can learn to express their feelings and emotions. This book, it's not the best because it's like yucky. It is vocabulary, but it's not the first vocabulary. happy, sad, angry, that kind of thing. Hurt. But this is kind of yummy, stinky. Uh-oh. So it's a fun book, realistic pictures, but find something that's like happy, sad, that kind of thing. Now, we're going to talk about animals. These two DK books are fabulous. First of all, it's a tactile experience. When you open it up, it has realistic pictures. This one has a lot of words. It can grow with the child, but you're learning fluffy, silky. So this one helps. It's a really good book. And then this one has more of an isolated difficulty, not as many words. Furry. Smooth. It's not as many words, but really good pictures, so that's what you're looking for when you talk about animals. Here's two really good examples of like pocketbooks that you can throw in your purse, take when you're at the doctor's office so they're not touching anything at the doctor's office. And it has realistic pictures and lowercase words. This one has isolation of difficulty where it's just got kittens on there. Rooster, lamb, and so on. Here's another really good touchy-feely book by DK. They have a lot of awesome books. Books that do things, books that do tricks. It's fabulous. Whose ears are these? So you open it up, it has a picture of an ear, and then it shows the picture of the animal. Same thing with this page. It's a rabbit's ear. So things that do tricks. You just have to make sure that they treat the material with care. This is one that they could do as they learn to count with their siblings or with mom and dad. You open it up. And it says there are 10 seagulls, 1 combine. And so they have to find those objects on the page. So really fun book. Counting as well as vocabulary. This one is Drawing Life in Motion. So it actually teaches your child and you how to actually draw the fish or whatever animal. Okay. Then after they learn some animals, you can do lessons where, like this one, I would do feathers, fins, and fur. And I would take, say, an animal book and put it in here. And so I have feathers, fins, and fur. These things have fur. And these books here, bird books, finches and birds. Another one, here's one with owls. Those have feathers. And then here is a book, an awesome book of Texas fish. That has all different kinds of amazing fish in it. Those would have fins in a shark book. So feathers, fins, and fur could be a lesson that you teach. And you can actually get some feathers so that they can feel them. This basket here is basically a basket of like dictionaries. From early dictionaries and then progressing upwards. So this one here is Baby's First Words. This is a fabulous book because you open it up and it has actual pictures of things in their environment that they will see. Apple, broccoli. Now it has the uppercase first letter, which is a bummer. However, it's a fabulous book, but I wish they would have put lowercase. So you want to look for lowercase if you can find it. but this is Fisher-Price, Baby's First Words. So realistic words, lowercase first, and if it's an early book that has these thick pages. Here's another one. This one's cartoony, but it has a lot of unusual words like reaching, lifting. These are more like verbs, feet and toes. It has like a spine and bending, your heart, your lungs. So it's a little more in depth. It's pretty good. It says from 3 to 5 years old, but some of these words can be much earlier. And then Baby Einstein, pretty good book. This whole page has counting from 1 to 10. The next page are musical instruments. You have weather and things in the environment, rocks and acorns, outside stuff. So this one book teaches a whole bunch of vocabulary. Right? So you want to look for those. Here's a fun book, Rainbow Fish. These are counting, learning numbers. So it says like 1 crab, 2 whales, and you can say 1, 2. And then at the end of the book, you can allow them to play with rainbow fish, which is a whole nother book in and of itself. Okay, which is better, which is best? Okay, 3 different books. This one's okay, but if you really assess it and look at it, it has the lowercase word and it has the Spanish word, but there's no symbol with it. And then they're cartoony pictures, so there's no symbol located anywhere in the book, unfortunately. So, okay, but not the best. This one, it has realistic pictures, and it has one, it says ducky. It's not a ducky, it's a duck, and the symbol. So it does have lowercase, the written word, the symbol, and the quantity. That's the 3 things you want to look for. So this is the best book. What you're looking for is a realistic picture that has the quantity, 1, 2, the symbol, and the written word with lowercase. If you can get all that in one book, you're doing great. And this one even has a sentence that you can read to them. So if you can find all 3 of those things, the quantity, the symbol, the written word starting with lowercase, that is the best book. All right. Next, we want to talk about shapes. All right, so this book, for some reason, starts with rectangle. You normally start with circle, square, and triangle. But this goes right into diamond, which is not one of the first shapes. So it does have Spanish in it, which is nice. It starts with lowercase, so it's not a bad book, but it's not the best book. Okay, and so this one is actually a better book, or even a best book, because it does start with square and circle first. And it has the word with lowercase, and it has a picture of an actual object that is that shape. And a circle for a ball, rectangle, diamond, and I'm sorry, I get kind of a, you have this shiny light on the book, but it is what it is. Okay, and then this one is more of a down-the-line book because it's pretty abstract. It's not realistic pictures. And when your child is older and there's material that has squares and rectangles and triangles and they can build stuff, I would bring this book out. So it's a later book, even though it says toddler. Okay, so shape books having to do with teaching shapes. This one, beginning geography, teaching The seasons. So you want realistic looking people, not purple people or blue people. But you can talk about summer and what it looks like. So the different seasons. This one goes into even, it's a little cartoony, but it goes into the Earth's rotation around the sun. So definitely want to look for educational books on early geography, which is seasons. And then also in the environment, it's good to have a World Atlas book, a huge adult book that has all kinds of information, you know, from the flags of the world to, you know, the maps and all the information. And there's some with the topography of the land and of the ocean. Have this, bring it out, read over some of it with your child, but you handle the book, you put it up, and you bring it out, and you put it up again, and then when they're old enough, you can let them look at it on their own. But it's good to have it in the environment. This book has to do with early letters and sounds. So this one, I kind of marked some pictures in it, but it's a nice, thick, chunky book. And it has realistic pictures, really vibrant, realistic pictures. It has the uppercase and lowercase, and the words starting with the lowercase. Baby's happy, you have all variety of things. Vocabulary to learn. This is a fabulous book. And it's put by Pretty Books, Big Ideas for Little People. It's a very good book. And you want books that do fun stuff, like this. Okay? So you start with it over here. Apple. This says apple. Butterfly. This says butterfly. Butterfly. And so you've got to have books that do something, that interact with the child. This one's fabulous as they go on to learning to write their letters. If you have, and I got this secondhand, so the marker's missing, but I have some, and they're wipe-off markers. The child can trace the letter with their finger, and then later they can trace the letter with the wipe-off marker. So this can be used if you have multiple children and so on. And so they trace with their finger and then trace with their hand and learn all this vocabulary. So it's an interactive book and it has longevity. This one's kind of cool. It's a box of books. So it comes in a cube. Okay. You take the lid off and there is a box of books. So you have basically, I don't know which one I'll be pulling out. There's the Q book. So it has queen. So it has the upper and lower case, and the word starts with the lowercase. Fabulous. So you have a book for every letter of the alphabet. This has longevity for sure. And you can teach them not A to Z, but in the letter groups that I'll teach you. I have a video on the different letter groups. So that was a good find. I found that secondhand. Then you want fun books like this. This one teaches sign language. Nothing too fancy, you know, just things that they can use for pizza, people, play, but teach them some sign language. This is a cool book that does have interaction. It has big words, but you flip it up and then it shows what the word is. So books that actually do fun things cause interaction. And then this is like a variety basket with a variety. Snakes, caves, bugs. And then I really like this book, so it doesn't have to always be children's books. This book, it is wonderful. It's an adult book, but it has all these amazing butterflies. Just lots and lots of real pictures. Again, we're looking for real pictures of real things in a real environment. And so I hope that helps to find the good, better, and best books for your child, because you're looking to educate your child so that they're one of the smartest kids in school. If they're homeschooled, that still one day they may go to college or something. You want them to be smart, intelligent. And if they're learning about fairies and unicorns and Disney, they're not getting anything useful. So please, during at least the first 6 years of your child's life, make sure everything in their environment is real, is full of facts. Discover their emotions, colors, numbers. I have lots of videos on things that you can teach your kids. But I hope this helps you pick out the best books that you can put in their environment. I hope that was helpful.